What's going on now? Oh,
Says it.
Shrug, you can't joke like that because things go wrong so often in Twitch that anything is believable. So, but anyway, this is this scene right here. At this point, this is actually more atmospheric music that doesn't come across in like the OST or anything like that. So, I'm just gonna let this play for just a second.
I'm gonna mute my mic to hear it.
Okay. So yeah, it's a fairly small loop.
That's a pretty creepy ambiance.
It is, yeah. It's a really
Nice.
short loop, but it's it does the job. And
Yeah.
here is the Shrug, you ruined everything forever. I can't even switch killer7. Pay no attention to the fact that I just did. But yeah, there's there's her face, and it's interesting. Like the hair color and even the hairstyle it looks like it's based off of hers. That it's like they have very similar appearances and designs, but it's like the mask is just like this bulky anime version of her own face.
Yeah.
So.
Which makes it sadder somehow.
Yeah, it does. It's like it really is like she had to sort of fictionalize herself in order to cope.
Yeah.
All right. No, I don't remember. Was the blood room here filled? I mean, broken?
I believe so.
Yep, there we go. Now I've just got all this blood in my pockets and it's just dripping everywhere and it's so awkward.
Well, yes, you have three big serums.
Yeah. There we go. Because Dan winds up being the most versatile.
That's the technical term for them. Biggins.
Biggins? Oh.
Yeah.
You know, I think you might be surprised to know that technical term also has overlaps with a lot of things on a farm.
It does.
That's we actually use that as a catch-all pronoun for everything, actually.
Even the small things.
Yeah, exactly. It rendered not a little bit of confusion. Okay. Whoop, that's actually not. I guess I just wanted to look at my handiwork again.
Which is even more disturbing.
Yep.
Given the circumstances.
Yep, just walk in there. Sense of accomplishment.
And not only look, but point a gun at the body.
I mean, it caused me enough trouble. I kind of find this post-fight enemies creepy in their own sense, because it's like, you know, you were having this battle with Ayane Blackburn, and now these things have sort of like homed in on your location and are sort of stalking outside.
Yeah.
I think.
But it's also kind of creepy the thought that they just wait, too. I mean, just theoretically, they could just be, you know, coming into the room behind you or something. And
That's true.
But no, they don't know how to open doors. As is so often the problem with zombie monster things.
What the hell? Like, I don't understand. What about shooting him directly in the face was not efficient? Okay. Yeah, I was trying to think, like, surely these are the ones that dissipate after you hit them with an electric shot, and it turns out that is the case, but for whatever reason, it was not effective. What the? Oh. I think there's a quick route back here, which is why I'm going the direction I am. I think that there is a way to get back to the main house with Khan, if I'm remembering right. Now, I'm actually curious.
Yeah, see, there's a second bedroom.
Okay, yeah, you're right. I wonder, does this take blood? I know that, like, Coyote's transportations... No, it doesn't take blood. I know, like, when Coyote has to get into areas that only he can get into, it requires blood for that.
It just takes childish innocence.
That's right. It takes innocence and the willingness to duck. How many of us in our adult lives...
They're one and the same thing.
Yeah, how many of us in our adult ways have forgotten how? I think it probably is going to require a feature film starring Robin Williams to teach me how to recover it.
Yeah. And that's really just finding your inner child.
Largely, which is founding a career of, for some reason, being an inspirational wonderkind based off of a stand-up routine that is largely vulgar. Like, I know that, like, Good Morning Vietnam probably was, like, an entryway for him into that, but it's still really weird that, like, he got that reputation based off of his stand-up. Anyway, killer7. Hello, Mime Paradox, who has joined us lately in the chat. This is... And where's the chute? There we go. Garbage chute. Down with you, Con. But surely he's not the only kid to have thought that's a good idea. I mean, you know, dumb waiters and stuff like that. I'm sure we've all looked at a dumb waiter at some point. And
no, but the added tragedy is he's got somebody yelling at him to get in there and pushing a button to make him do it. No, you're a terrible person.
Well, I'm resigned to that. Actually, with a lot less stress than you might imagine or hope. Oh my gosh. It ducked ever so slightly. That's all it took.
The tiny little frustrations.
Let's see, I think that's... Right, I don't need to...
It's really okay, though, because you're done with Ayame now. So there's never a frustration that can be at that level.
I really think that is is correct. After, yeah, I think that's correct. Are there? Yes, that's right. Because, is there a moon out? I guess so. I mean, it's really... Hold on. God. Oh, God, Travis. Way to freak me out.
Interesting way to squat.
Yep. I don't know. I don't know anything about diving. Is that something that swimmers do to prep?
Oh, maybe. I don't know. I have no idea.
The water here is interesting. It's like three different textures. That are just sort of undulating on top of each other. I hear... Alright, there we go.
If you hear laughter, don't worry. It's just a It's just the game encouraging you.
Oh, thanks. But yeah, it's like 3 layers undulating. It's kind of like in different timings.
Yeah.
One of them is blue. One of them is gray. Oh, there we go. That's right. This is how I would, for some reason, if I needed to go back to the very start, this is how I would do it.
What reason would you have to go back to the very start at this point?
And I don't know. It's like there are a couple of different ways you can use this as sort of like a hub for getting to the start of the level. You can use it as a hub for getting to, what is it? The house, the first part of the house.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know at this point why you would, because there's a Harmon's room right there after you do what just happened.
All 3 of the waters are gone.
Yep. Oh, hello. Those bomb heads are particularly terrifying since if if you screw up hitting them, then I mean if you screw up hitting them when they're very close, then you actually will die in the explosion.
Now that's just a waste of a good pool.
I agree.
What does his shirt say?
Summer 2002.
Oh,
or Summer 2000. It's I know. I guess like looking at his face, it looks like he's got something over his eyes and like a lemon in his mouth or something. There's definitely color there. I wonder if that's like, is that some sort of like beauty bathing thing? I don't know.
Well, it is now.
Right, Travis has started the trend. All right, save the game and now never look back. I think I'm probably going to be waking up.
Oh, don't you want to leave that file?
I'm going to be waking up in the middle of the night for years because of that.
Don't make the night feel like blood rush.
And this interests me. I kind of like, I know like Curtis is like really big on security and everything, so it's not surprising that he would have like some sort of like biometric ocular biometric surgery is what, surgical, not surgical, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. Some sort of security. Thank you, right. Some sort of biometric security placed over his like central room. But it's like the fact that Dan's eyes will work on that it makes me wonder if Dan, well, there are a couple of things I wonder. Number one, if Dan knew about this stuff down here and had specific access to it, or two, if this just was some sort of like general security, like some sort of central computer that would network out to a variety of different ocular readers, which is the one that I hope, would be correct. And hence he would have been granted access to other areas that are not, where we're about to go. Or maybe Dan knew about it and now regrets his ways. Although, no, it does kind of touch back to what you were mentioning last weekend, Grant, which is that it's like they're not going after Curtis and Pedro because they're killing kids. They're going after Curtis and Pedro because there's been a slight political shift in balance.
Yeah, and it seems as though they've known about the child trafficking.
Right. And
as though it's just sort of out there in the air.
Yeah, that's right.
And then, of course, it becomes something to hold Curtis accountable for now that they have to move against him politically.
Right.
So you have all the remnant psyches, bringing it to bear on him, but that's not really the impetus. It's just...
Oh, God, these... Okay, good. This again is you know, kind of a preface to what Curtis is doing. It's, you know, the vinculum gate wraps you around in this space in between doors. So if you were to go back out here, you would show up. I don't know if in this one you would show up in the Coliseum, but you would show up if you backtracked to the entrance of the pool.
Yeah.
You know, now you're entering. I mean, just beyond the entrance of the pool in physical space is this morgue. This very almost sterilized morgue. But it's interesting because, I mean, to have that laser smile there and to have it sort of bound with its eyes sort of like impaled on those sort of like electrodes does, I mean, it does suggest that like Curtis like physically set up a guard laser smile and sort of maybe like built it himself to stand guard.
Mm.
I'd like to think of, oh, here, we'll stop in this Harmon's room before I, excuse me, illustrate the point. Mime Paradox in chat notes, you can never have too much security when there's pool thieves about. That's correct, I just stole his water. I mean, it's like it didn't just funnel out. It went to it's mine now.
Yeah. No, you stole the pool. That was the real mission.
That's right. We can all
Killing
go
Curtis
home.
is just superfluous.
Time to clock out. But this the composition of this entrance right here is really interesting to me because whereas so much of the framing, this is something that I think is particularly communicated by the visual design of this game and the camera location, is that so much of the game is placed off-center or incompletely in frame, like you might see like part of somebody's face but not their entirety. This one actually uses a fairly typical, you know, center horizon point, everything pointing back to it, all of your attention being placed on the center. And even when the camera changes back here, it's, you know, it almost conveys like a singularity of purpose and a sort of like...
Wait, go back. Because, you know, what I'm wondering is where the light source is when you're standing just inside the door.
Let's see.
I mean, what? Because the shadow is in front of you.
I actually kind of think that... Oh. Well, that's a good point.
That's
style over physics.
I know
at
that's
this point.
Interesting.
But
I mean, it's another one of those, you know, the environment is sort of visually incomplete, and you fill it in intuitively yourself. So
right.
we can just sort of intuit there's a light up there on top of the door,
right.
But it's not actually there. You just have the shadow.
I think, and even here, it's like, even here, even though it's not like straight on, it's like it visually creates a clear path to a definite point, and that's unique in the design of this game. I kind of think that, and this is maybe like further reason why the shadow should be there. It looks like the light is actually coming up from these like long panels on the floor, which is kind of...
Well, yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking, but that's why it would. I mean, is that the way the shadow would go if that were the case? Wouldn't it, if the light were really coming from the floor, wouldn't the shadow be projected up onto the ceiling or onto the wall?
Well, I think at this point, like it's
not back onto the floor itself.
I think at this point it's like even that element is like, you know, I've got the fluorescent light here, which should cast a shadow to the right. It's just, I think at this point it's sort of, you just sort of have to accept it.
Yeah, well, it's compositionally interesting too, because it means you have the shadow literally pointing.
Oh, yeah. No, you're right. I see what you're getting at, yeah.
Yeah. Hold on.
All right. You must trust the pigeon. The last pigeon is a Eugene.
Sorry, my dog is kind of playing around, so if you hear any background noise, that's her making a ruckus in the background.
I can accept dog noise. So, but yeah, actually, and I kind of want to illustrate this just in case this fight goes well, and I'm not able to. Yeah, and I'm not able to do so. I want to pull out some of the other Smiths here to show what. You know what? I don't need to do this. I can just switch Smiths on the fly. But no. Actually, I do want to see what Garcian does.
Oh, you're gonna try to go into it with Garcian?
Yeah, just to show that that this is like a. I think somebody was saying. I don't
I
remember.
think the camera is gonna switch you to Dan once you go in.
Well, I think that you actually can't enter unless you're Dan, and that's what that's what I was thinking. Like, oh wow, even when you exit Harmon's room, it goes back to the central focus. But yeah, it's like I think somebody was saying during one of the previous casts that you could go in with any character, but it would switch. There we go. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, it's not even scanning his eyes.
Right. It's like Garcian. He is so tall that he cannot possibly bend. And,
I know it's hilarious. It's like everyone but Dan won't even bother to make the effort to try to get their eyes.
That's right.
In the scanner.
Mime Paradox notes unauthorized tie, and that's correct. I think that you have to be very careful with the ties that people who enter your establishment.
Well, yeah, I mean it was yellow, right?
Yeah.
That's just tacky.
And Coyote isn't even tall enough for it, so she's off the hook.
Entry granted. No one there.
Weird. It's
Wow, Kevin's not tall enough either.
Yeah.
So if he actually stood up, he would be.
Yeah. I wonder. I mean, Coyote and Dan have got to be about the same height. No, or what? I don't even know what that is.
Whoa.
Is that? I guess that's that's the top of his hair, maybe. Let's see it one more time. Yeah, I guess that's the top of his head that it's looking at. Most certainly, Khan will not. Excuse me.
No, I would assume not.
I mean, Khan doesn't even have his eyes out. So, you know, actually, I used to think that it was an ocular scan, but maybe it's not even that. Maybe it's just an intelligence test.
Who's willing to put their eyes in the frame?
Yeah, I guess Dan is like literally the tallest of the Smiths. I did not think so, but
yeah, I guess.
Because it's like even when you pull the gun up here, it's like, well, I don't know. That's interesting because like the point of view of the gun, I guess, is coming out of his chest since it's parallel to his arm. But yeah, here we go.
Yeah, I guess he is the tallest.
That right there, that is like really good internet material right there. Here we go.
Danny boy, look at you. You've changed considerably. Into a badass, if I may.
Yeah, and you've changed a lot too. Into an old man. I went to see the devil. Now it's your turn.
Oh, my pupil, so tenacious of life. Guess I have to kill you again.
Shut up, before you run out of breath.
I got rid of those smiles. There's no one to disturb our game. It's just you and me.
Sounds fair, 'cause I hate holding back. Even for an old fart like yourself.
Talk all you want. I won't need 6 bullets for you.
Or 4 for you.
We'll begin when the bird flies. Can you remember that? Pink-ass punk, you're going down.
All right, I actually the audio in this is really interesting because it actually creates a kind of dissonance by trying to throw off your like internal sense of timing.
Yeah. No, see, and
Oh my god!
I'm looking forward to this.
We're all looking forward to this. I just shot the hell out of that door behind him, but whatever.
Well,
The thing is, it's like you don't even need to move the controller, and I just kind of swung it around wildly.
it's okay. You're back on track.
Yeah, there's actually oh shit. There's actually a much longer period of time between the time the bird flies and he points his guns at you than I remember.
Don't you? Can't you just? Sorry.
No, that's fine.
Can't you just wait until you hear the bird? I thought there was some kind of audio cue.
No, there's no audio
when the bird was actually going to fly.
I don't think so. I mean, you can hear the wings flap and everything, but
Yeah, but I think it what's the word for bird noises? What's
coo?
it doing?
You can hear
Yeah, coo. It coos differently right before it's about to take off, I thought.
Really? I don't remember that.
I don't know. Maybe I'm making it up.
I seem to remember some talk of that, like when this game had a lot of internet message board activity. Other than, hey guys, you remember that game? But yeah. So you can tell which one's bad because Dan has a tie and he's therefore a responsible man. Oh, shucks.
Hey, Curtis is wearing a very similar outfit to the bosses.
Which bosses?
The boss. Metal Gear Solid 3.
Oh, yeah. No, you're right.
I mean, open chest, white jumpsuity.
Yeah, it has kind of a sneaking suit feel to it, especially with the shoulder pads.
Yeah. Well, that's also just a classiness feel.
I think it's interesting how, like, at the start of this, Curtis says, I won't need 6 bullets for you, and Dan says, or 4 for you, and that's, like, the limit of how many shots they can take. This is another interesting thing.
The parameters of the fighter set by Dan's pride.
Right, and when you defeat Curtis, who now? Did it, what? Okay, well, I guess that...
Wait, you die?
Yeah,
Oh, whoa, I thought you won.
Yeah, I thought I did too. I guess the opposite happened.
Huh.
I was about to say, oh man, the death scene when you finally beat Curtis is like almost exactly like when one of the Smiths dies. Those words were about to come out of my mouth.
It is exactly like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
The scenario is uncannily similar.
Right. Dying is so much more.
I can feel no remorse in the dead body. To me, it's merely cold, rotting flesh.
Little 8-bit fanfare.
It's interesting what the reality of the showdown with Curtis here is, though, because Curtis doesn't seem very surprised to see Dan again, which suggests that Curtis himself is familiar with the Killer 7.
Also, that Curtis actually says, "I took care of those smiles for us," which is interesting because at the beginning, it makes clear that only the Killer 7, only Harmon Smith and the Killer 7 are able to actually see the Heaven Smiles and defeat them. So it's like Curtis, there again, it sort of is this sort of like overlapping of, I don't know, it has the sort of function of quote unquote purifying the Killer 7 by showing that, you know, that yeah, they're psychopaths, but they're not this kind of psychopath. By sort of, but I really wonder like perhaps what is intended to be communicated by making them so similar. It's to the point where it's like it's not even like the brother of light and the brother of dark. You know, it's not even that kind of like twin opposite forces yin yang scenario, even though visually it does echo that. It's